Hey there, Dr. Charlene, and I wanted to quickly talk about what you can do to lose weight if you have Hashimoto's. And the answer is actually going to be quite the opposite of what you have probably heard for other people who don't have Hashimoto's. And so I want to warn you about some of the pitfalls that people are making when they're trying to lose weight and they have Hashi. And I recorded a podcast episode about this, so if you're more of a listener, less than a watcher, you can hop over to the Empire Wellness podcast on all major podcast platforms and find it there and basically hear the same information. So what it boils down to is I'm sure that you have heard in at least one doctor's office that all you need to do to lose weight, especially if you have Hashimoto's, all you have to do is to eat less and exercise more. And I could not disagree more with that answer. That is not at all the case for someone with Hashimoto's. Now, eating less might be trying to starve yourself. I'm sure you've been down this road. It might be trying some of the different fasting styles that are out there, either a longer term fast or intermittent fasting, which is typically a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour eating window. Now, trust me, I am a proponent of fasting for some people, but for people with Hashimoto's, it is not good. And it's the same reason why exercising more is also not good for people with Hashimoto's. When you're starving yourself or fasting, which is a form of actively starving yourself at certain times, and then when you're over-exercising or sometimes exercising at all, this is actually causing more stress on your adrenal function. And I work with patients who have a lot of adrenal dysfunction, but that's stage 3 out of a 4-stage process that I take my patients through. So if you're working on stage 3 with me, that means that we've cleaned up your immune system and your digestive system first, and then you can start doing light workouts in stage 3. But if you still have a bunch of hidden pathogens, if you have a bunch of dysregulation in your GI tract, you have bloating, gas, uncontrolled bowel movements, whether that's like constipation or diarrhea, and it's just never quite right. If you have those things going on, you should not be over-exercising or starving your body because your adrenal system isn't ready yet. It doesn't have the support it needs from the other 2 stages that I work with my patients for you to start exercising. So imagine if your adrenals, most people are kind of familiar with this little gland that's on top of the kidneys, and that's what gives our body what it needs when we're going to run away from a bear. Or if you're going to try to punch the bear in the nose, that fight or flight response, that's primarily driven by the adrenal system. Now, if that's already wiped out because you're so exhausted and you've been under so much chronic stress for so long, where are you going to pull that energy? Where are you going to pull that adrenaline from to get your body to an intense workout? Or to have the resources to fuel what you need from starving yourself. Starvation, aka fasting in today's times, again, huge proponent of it for some people, not for Hashimoto's. So fasting makes your body think that it's starving and you don't have the right reserves because of the adrenal fatigue most likely to utilize things like fat burn. So your body's going to start burning muscle. It's a training process to teach the body what fasting is actually doing to get into ketosis. There's so much here to unravel. And so if you've gone to your doctor and they've said, you'll lose weight, just eat less and exercise more, and you have active Hashimoto's, they have told you the wrong information. And it's probably because they learned the wrong information. They think calories in, calories out. That's not how the body works, especially when your thyroid is not optimally working. So, here's what you do to start losing weight. You eat healthy foods, real whole food, not Whole Foods, the grocery store, but real whole food. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store. If it comes from the produce section, meat, eggs if you can tolerate them. I'd avoid dairy if you have Hashimoto's, but shop the perimeter. If it is not processed, eat it. And eat when your body needs nutrients. When you are hungry, eat a little bit. Don't eat until you're overly full. That's too much. Eat until you're satisfied. This is a training that you have to retrain your stomach and your mind to talk to each other to know when you're satisfied. Eat slower. Chew your food many times so that your mouth starts the breakdown of the food and it's less work on the stomach. And then if you absolutely have to exercise, which I love, it's a great thing to move our bodies. Move gently. So do some gentle yoga, not power yoga. I don't want you doing 50 chaturangas, which are basically push-ups, in a single session. I want you doing gentle yoga or taking a nice walk out in nature if you can. And keep it simple. Keep it light. If you work out and you find yourself feeling like you got hit by a bus and you have 3 days of recovery afterwards, that's called post-exertional malaise syndrome. It's an actual condition, and it means that your body couldn't handle the workout that you tried. And so if you have this PEMS, this post-exertional malaise syndrome, like I said, you work out and you feel like you got hit by a bus, don't do that anymore. Keep it light. It's going to take time. It probably took time for you to put the weight on. Give yourself at least half that time to take the weight off. If you've gained 20 pounds over 10 years, then expect to take those 20 pounds off, especially when you have Hashimoto's, could take up to 5 years. It could take less. That would be fantastic, especially if you have a chance to work with me and we're able to get your thyroid under control. Yay. But take the time. Don't set such rigid expectations for yourself. Give yourself some grace and some compassion because you have a long journey and your body is healing. And so you get to listen to your body and figure out what's right for you. I hope this was helpful. As always, be well.